Hi everyone, my name is Raina Yol, and I am a 19-year-old student studying abroad in South Korea. My time here has been eye-opening in many ways, but the thing that has stuck out most to me was the misogyny I've witnessed from both men and women alike. Feminism is a taboo concept in South Korea, with it being associated with the 4B movement and other radical feminist ideas. To call yourself a feminist in this conservative country is dangerous and can have a long line of negative effects if you're too outspoken. The 4B movement, for context, is a movement established in South Korea that emphasizes not giving in to societal expectations of women finding male partners. Women participating in the 4B movement do not date men, marry men, carry children, or have sexual relationships with men. In a male-dominated country, this movement is a strong standpoint for women to take and is thus looked down upon by many. The 4B movement to a foreigner such as myself is a cry for help and for the ability to live an independent life as a woman. It's about finally confronting the injustices women have faced at the hands of men in this country and enforcing stricter law for sexual crimes. This is not a movement based on stubbornness as some may view it here, and it is not inherently dangerous as many are taught to believe. I just mentioned the issue of sexual crime enforcement in this country, and it's a large one. One of the repeated warnings I received from online sources before coming to South Korea was to check for cameras in just about every space I entered. Public bathrooms are where cameras are found the most often, disguised as inconspicuous objects unless you know what to look for. The videos recorded of women by these devices are often posted online or among inner circles for men to see and use. This problem still exists despite stricter sexual violence laws emerging in 2020 because the guilty parties rarely get punished. Only a quarter of crimes result in fines, and only 15% lead to imprisonment. It's not exactly a secret that other types of sexual crime also go highly unpunished here. Rape and sexual assault, while serious crimes, have outdated definitions and are hard to imprison people for in South Korea. Crimes committed while intoxicated are only classified as quasi-rape, and only distinct proof of threat or violence can lead to conviction. Despite some attempts to change this, the concern for false rape allegations outweighed the pleas of people calling for justice. And it is with this further information that I pose the question, why is feminism still taboo here? In a country where the inequality seems so obvious, are people still paranoid that feminists are the problem? I wish I had the answers to these questions myself, but all I can do is sit here and speculate with you. As someone who was raised by a Southern mother and into the Catholic Church, I know what it is like to be raised under the influence of men being superior. The nuns at school were respected, but the priest would always have the final say. The only woman that had power above them was Mother Mary, but of course there are men above her too, Jesus and God. Similar to what I have witnessed here, every child was expected to come from a family where there was a man of the house, and most of my friends did. Their fathers were in charge of the family, similar to Confucian beliefs, and respect was expected from the rest of the family. It was a dynamic ingrained into us from a young age, but it didn't exist in my own life, where my parents were divorced and my father was an atheist. The dynamic I was taught that was so important to have in your life didn't exist for me. My mother was the figure teaching me Christian values, and my dad didn't want me believing he ever had more power over me just because he was a man. I fully believe it is this difference in my life, opposed to my classmates, that allowed me to escape the cycle many of them still exist in now. Even if the Christianity part separates their life from most Koreans, the fundamentals instilled in their minds seem similar. I've watched classmates around me brush off laziness on group projects from male classmates as them being too busy to get their work done. They've even offered to take over their work for them because their lives must simply be too difficult to do their share. I've had friends in similar situations put their foot down and confront the problem at hand and been met with shock from female group members that they would speak like that to a man. The idea of putting men on a pedestal is taught, and it is a lesson I have been a part of. And when one thing is placed up high, the other must remain lower. The attitude I've seen from some of these women is eerily similar to the way I've seen Catholic women in the US treat men, and it scares me. So, what exactly am I trying to get at? I have not spent enough time in South Korea to try and even claim that the women here are being brainwashed. but I have spent enough time in a religious community often deemed dangerous to tell you that the women there are definitely brainwashed to a certain extent. I've seen the way women attack each other when they are raised to believe that male validation is the almost highest achievement that you can get. I've seen the way women undermine each other to try and get male attention and male validation. It's a dangerous thing, but I think there could possibly be some truth to that happening in South Korea with the way feminism is treated. I believe that so long as men continue to say that feminism is bad and that feminism could be dangerous to the society built here, it will continue to be demonized and it will continue to remain a taboo in society here. Until cycles are broken, such as my own, I believe that feminism and the people that need to be heard that are feminists will fall on deaf ears. And that the words of the women that are calling out for help and are calling for change will just continue to be silenced until people break out of this hold. So, thank you for listening to my video, and I hope something stuck with you throughout it.